Hi! Today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions. But before we do that, let's quickly review fractions. As you can see on the screen, I have 2/4, 3/5, and 8/9. I have drawn pictures also that will show those representations. 2/4, whoops, wrong pen. 2/4 would be 2 out of these 4. 3/5 would be these 3 out of 5. And 8/9 would these be 8 out of 9. That shows our fractions. The denominator is the bottom number of the fraction. It's the 4, the 5, and the 9. That tells us how many are in the whole set. The numerator is the top number of the fraction. The 2, the 3, and the 8. This tells you which part of the set we're talking about. So 2/4, 3/5, 8/9. Now if we're talking about equivalent fractions, we can show these by using lots of different pictures. Right now, looking at this circle that I have drawn, the denominator portion of this fraction would be 4th because there are going to be 4 out of my whole. If I am going to talk about 2/4, I'm going to fill in, oh, that didn't work very well. I'm going to fill in 2 of those 4 pieces. So approximately, how much would you say of this circle is shaded? If you said to yourself that about half of this circle is shaded, you are correct. 2/4 and 1/2 are equivalent fractions. Let's try this again. If I have another fraction circle, there we go, and I separate this. If I ask you how much the denominator would be worth, you would be talking about how many whole pieces would be in this circle. There would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 portions. So 8 would be the total number of my fraction. The denominator is 8. If I want to create an equivalent fraction of 2/4 or 1/2, I would need to shade in the same amount as I did at the top. Try to be a little more careful this time. If I shade that in, it's the same top piece of the circle as I have on top, but how many pieces did I color? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this fraction is worth 4/8. We could say that 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 are equivalent fraction. They all are taking up this much of the circle. And over here I will create that 1/2. Oh, wait a second, let's do it this way. So here I have this section of my circle shaded again. And how many pieces of the circle are there altogether? There are 2. 1,
Is it alright that I took one of your guys?
1, 2. How many pieces are shaded? 1. So this is where I have 1/2. So you can see 1/2, 4/8, and 2/4 are all equivalent fractions. They take up the same top part of my circle. Each piece, the numerator, is a different size, but overall they take up the same amount of space on the circle. Let's take another look at a couple more. If I have
You guys have torches?
and I do the same thing, and you can be drawing these same shapes in your journals. And if I look at this shape, how many pieces do I have as my whole? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you said the denominator was 8, whoopsie, wrong pen. You said the denominator was 8, that is correct. We don't know the numerator yet because I haven't yet shaded what the numerator will be. If I shade this and I take and color these 2 strips, how many out of 8 of these strips are colored? If you answered 2, you would be correct. 2/8. Now if I take this shape and I create another one,
Ashton? Yeah, you know Mrs. Berry?
now how many pieces do I have as my fractions? How many pieces of my whole do I have? If you answered 4 and said 4 is a denominator, that is correct. If I take my pen and I color in one section,
Probably.
how many of those sections did I color? If you said, whoops, if you said 1,
I have to kind of be quiet right now because my mom is making a video for school.
and you said the numerator was 1, you would be correct. We can see by looking and comparing the shapes that 2/4 and 1/4 are the same size, so they are equivalent fractions. Let's try a couple more problems. If I have and I create one more that's similar. And I color in,
So this is where you guys spawn.
whoopsie, I color in this section. Write in your journal what this fraction would be worth. And then the same as this one.
There's a creeper on the other side of the.
If you said this fraction is 5/10, you'd be correct. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colored out of 10 whole. And if you said this had the denominator of 2 and one of those is colored, that would be 1/2. Those fractions are also equal. On the next page, I'm going to be putting the questions for your link to assignment. So please stop the video or rewatch it if need be and answer the questions in your journal. And then please click the link and log in so that you can get credit for watching tonight's homework.